Oh, hey, what's up, man? How we doing?
I'm okay, but I did get hurt. I did get hurt today.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah, really active day. Yeah, real busy.
I burned my finger. You can't really tell, but I had gloves on at the fireplace going. We had a FID day, which I know is redundant because FID stands for Flexible Instruction Day, but saying FID
Mhm.
just seems incomplete. And
Sure.
had heavy gloves on. They had holes in the fingers. An ember fell out of the wood burner onto the front of it. I grabbed it and I missed. Odds of me finding that hole with the ember were very better chance of hitting the lottery. My finger and the ember met through the hole in the glove, burned my finger.
Oh man, it's a
Nine
rough one.
finger typing today. I finally got the ability to type with all 10 fingers, and I can only use 9 today.
Well, technically, you're using 7 fingers and 2 thumbs. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, rough life. Yeah, nice FID day. All I'm seeing everybody popped in 2 hour delay here, 2 hour delay here. Yeah, we earned the paycheck today. We had a full day. So, but we had a bitter cold, man. Bitter cold.
Did you have the cold out there?
Oh, yeah, we got the cold here. And I mean, we were single digits, so they didn't go negative with the wind chills, but we were single digits with the wind chills. So made it rough. I'm like, it's not often I take time to warm the car up and then wear gloves and a hat on top of it with my 2 cups of coffee and my travel mug and my little single cup of coffee and then a water bottle. But I was definitely finishing the coffee before I got to school today, which is normally not the case, but definitely a chilly day.
Yeah, it was
What about you?
cold yesterday. It started coming in yesterday. Windy. We had PETE&C yesterday, PETE&C 2026. And my wife got up. You had a drink of water. I'm like, did it snow? She goes, I didn't look outside. The blinds closed. I'm like, okay. I got up, went, turned the news on. They were talking about scattered flurries. And I get dressed. I have tennis shoes on. I never looked outside because they're driving around on the roads. The roads were clear. Down in Pittsburgh, I'm a little bit north of Pittsburgh. I talk about how the roads are clear and there's scattered flurries. And I have my tennis shoes on because we walking around the conference all day and don't want to wear uncomfortable shoes.
Right.
And lo and behold, Francine goes, aren't you afraid of slipping? I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, look outside. And they open the door. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. We had over like a half inch of snow. I actually had to shovel. I was not expecting this because nobody talked about it on the news. So did a quick shovel. It was okay in the tennis shoes, but it was windy. The car was getting pushed around on the highway yesterday, driving to and from. It was bitterly cold as the temperature was dropping. But great conference. Had over 500 people at PETE&C yesterday, which is a fraction of what'll be at PETE&C coming up rather quickly. Looking at the calendar, I was like, whoa. Wasn't just coming fast.
Right. Yeah, very much. Yeah, we definitely had, I had do a little shovel. So I've got snowblower, I've got shovel for digging, and I've got shovel that you can kind of push the snow off. So it's got a little bit of a throw. And so Saturday morning, kind of had to do that. I take care of my driveway, our sidewalk, take care of all the cars, all my daughter's cars. Then I have one neighbor where if the snow's real bad, I take care of her. She's retired. Another neighbor, her husband's been sick, dementia, different things going on. So I'll get over there and I'll take care of that one as well. So kind of crank out the two there. But so I did that on Saturday morning, and then it was good, and then again. Then Sunday, ended up driving my daughter and son-in-law, since now that the wedding has occurred, drove them to Harrisburg for. Missy's already talked about the Snowmageddon. So we'll get to that. So I had to drive them to Harrisburg, and that was rough. I've never been literally got to the airport and was shaking and drove home, and then got home for a little bit and then went out and just it's trying to always eyeball when is the snow roughly close to stopping? When does it make sense to shovel, hold off? So got that done Sunday. So, but yeah, we didn't have snow yesterday, but the cold kind of coming in. And now, as Missy alluded to, it's the favorite time of year. we got you and I chatting here, and then to my left, stage right, I guess when you're viewing from home, I got the Weather Nation Amazon app, so that's playing, and they're going through and rolling over. It's like that time of year for teachers to be very very excited, and this is why we live in Pennsylvania. But I will say, as it was looking like possible snow Thursday and Friday with my daughter's wedding happening Friday, I told all my friends this is the one and only time I prayed against snow. I am never that guy. I'm always rooting for snow, but I was very glad that stayed away, so the event went well. But yeah, Snowmageddon. So it's a little far out, but for those of you who are interested, the AccuWeather's YouTube channel, Bernie is the guy's name. I really do trust what he says, and Eastern PA Weather Authority is another really good one on Facebook, but following them. So nobody's ready to call numbers yet, but they're like more in the south. They're getting like 18 to 24 inches in different spots, but they're not calling our number yet because that's a tricky scenario.
Well, there's one coming through tomorrow in the afternoon out here in the west. It may go north of us, but then they're not sure where that's going yet. It might be just a little bit north of where we're at. And then deep freeze, and then that storm that everyone's talking about, that Snowmageddon. If that goes south, it might miss us, but we might get like a couple inches. But if it comes north, we might get dumped. So,
all right. Well, Dom, you and I are throwing in this comment here about more white on the ground than in the beard. So
yeah,
definitely,
quite possibly. I'd rather have it this weekend than next weekend because
Well,
next weekend
Sheila's coming. Sheila's in Southeast PA. That last, you guys weren't supposed to get much, and then that turned into something for you guys this past weekend. So but better this weekend than next weekend. I agree, because as we got we're rolling into PETE&C time and all that, getting ready for stuff. So
But last year PETE&C, I remember I raced the snow across the state. I got out ahead of it, and got there, and unfortunately it slowed down. I got there a couple hours before it hit, but for a while it was keeping up with me.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too is Farm Show Week was last week. So of course the cold and different patches of snow stuff happening always happens during Farm Show Week. So oh, Jamie's already oh, Jamie, come on now. Don't drop on the scale of people we like very fast. We enjoy snow. We enjoy
snow, but I have to agree with her. Like, if I'm going to get snow that I have to shovel, I want a delay or something to go along with it. It's just that, having to shovel the snow and not have a delay means I have to get up earlier, shovel the snow, clean everything, then go to work. And it's like, I'm just getting up earlier and earlier to get ready for it, not getting the benefit from it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my biggest regret right now this evening is the fact that I didn't build the podcast studio upstairs near my fireplace. That's my big regret right now. Just dealing with a little space heater down here in the corner cold section of the basement. So that'll be the next rendition. But as I possibly reclaim my daughter's bedroom, making it a double office area, and maybe moving the pod studio upstairs.
I did.
But
I want to show this clip. We talked about it before the show, a little 30-second clip.
Here you go.
My daughter and her roommate, first day back at college, they did their, like, here's how we're dressing. Don't worry about us. So then I had to do a little trolling because we did have the FID day. So on my first day back today, I have my mittens, I have my hat, I have a scarf, I have my double jacket, I have heavy boots and pants because it's really cold. And I have to walk from my car to the building. Oh wait, I have a text. I'll be right back. That was the school. We have a FID day today. I get to stay home. So I'm just wearing a robe and a coffee mug with my pajamas. Have a good day. My wife was like, why? I'm like, I have to. Because that was the big thing back in the day. When my daughter was in school, like for Girl Scouts and stuff, I would always save the snow delays and day off calls on my phone. And if someone's phoning, like, hey, look, and then listen, and I would play the snow delay call. And like, is that a new one or is that an old one? And I'm like, you'll have to wait and find out. Ask your parents. Get them all riled up.
That's funny.
But yeah, do a little trolling today.
Hey,
but it was like we had the FID day, so our kids have to get online. We have the choice of being synchronous or asynchronous because a lot of my kids don't have dedicated. We're north of Pittsburgh, but parts of our community are very rural, and there's not that great internet for some of them. And, plus they weren't expecting to be off today, so a lot of them didn't take their computers home. I do a check-in. They could check in off their phone. They have 24 hours to check in. And then I give them an assignment, which is going to be due Friday. We're going from the second to third 9 weeks. Today was the last day of the second 9 weeks. And it's just a quick reflection piece. They could work off their phones. They could work off a computer. Just type the reflection of the project we did last week. We did Cold War memes. Kids were making memes in Canva.
Nice.
So just a reflection on that. So I get feedback from them as to how the lesson went. What did they like? What would they change or improve upon? What did they do with the project? Because they were allowed to work in groups. And so they could work on it regardless of what type of technology they had at home or how good their signal was. And it's due Friday for kids that don't have a dedicated decent internet connection. They could work on it in school. They'll have time to get it done. So that was my day. Just grading stuff because I said it was the end of the 9 weeks. So I was going through grading work that was being turned in, the online stuff I work with. So
nice. Yeah. Well, we were in session, no delays or anything. And so kids were a little tired, but for me, for math, I do like about a half a block of teaching. That second half it was Minecraft Monday. It's a Monday, Tuesday. They're like, it was giving me a hard time. Well, it's not Monday. I go, it's your first day of the week. It's first day of class. But listen, I know we had it up on the screen here, but spoken like a true educator.
Yeah.
The fake fireplace around the space heater, right? Yeah.
I go on YouTube in the classroom. The fireplace with the classical music, classical piano, and I'll tell the kids in the front row, and they still laugh. I don't know why, but I think it's to make me happy. I'll be like, if it gets too hot, let me know. I'll turn it down, and I get the giggles. And a couple kids will do the face palm, and I'm like, that's why you're not getting side quest points. They laughed, you didn't.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I tell you, I burned my finger. I'm not sure if I told her.
You did. You got that joke out of the way.
Seven fingers and 2 thumbs, as my math friend said.
Good stuff. Well, listen, man, I'm trying to think. So I'm a little thrown off because, just different people didn't necessarily put things in the calendar. So what I think today it was my Monday, but it was a Monday, Tuesday. So it's a Tuesday. And it was a Tuesday in January.
I was supposed to have a club meeting today, so that would make it the third Tuesday.
So I guess it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization. My name is Eric Verno. I am the current president of PAECT, and with me, my co-host as always,
Dom Salvucci, and I'm the current vice president of PAECT.
All right, and we say current because clicking over in February, we get the switch over. So the next pod we do live outside of PETE&C, roles will be changed up a little bit. So that's very exciting. All right, but we've got episode 94, and thinking quickly today and changing gears, but we're going with gearing up for PETE&C 2026.
Yes, not to get people excited. We were supposed to have a guest, hence the glasses.
Yep.
Also with the FID day, even without the guest, still wearing the glasses. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see, and I'm not popping contacts in just for the show because if I work without the glasses, I might be talking to the wall, but you might like it better from just seeing me from a different angle or not seeing me.
All right. Yeah, well, we won't kick you to the back room yet. So then what that means is we're going to have 3 pods in February.
Yes.
One will be live, and then we'll be doing our normal on the 3rd week, and then we'll be doing a special one on the 4th week of February.
We may actually even have a special episode in there also because we do have a couple special guests lined up who couldn't be live. We're going to record them and push those episodes out on a later date.
A lot of good stuff. And then especially following February, we're definitely going to be looking. We're going to send out a couple, some information, just looking for people who want to hop on live because we need to hear from more teachers, more educators.
Yeah.
what they're doing really awesome, in and through the state and even beyond, because again, PACT stretches beyond. So yeah, it'd be exciting to hear from a lot of different voices.
And yesterday at PETE&C, they pretty much, it was like a student showcase. They had the student, they could come in and show what they're doing in school, and there were a ton of great activities students are doing. A couple PACT members, and some former KTI stars. So hopefully we get them to jump on and talk about what they're doing in their school, because the students are doing great work. The showcase they had yesterday at PETE&C, from community service, from connecting the different groups, getting students involved in school, pulling them in and making them feel comfortable in the school setting. These things were fantastic. So robotics teams, maker spaces, all kinds of things going on.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. So yeah, so just definitely look out, the socials, the emails, the newsletter. Just make sure you're checking it. Even if you don't see it come out and you want to be on, you got something to share, reach out, pod@pht.org. Reach out to Dom and I specifically. But yeah, definitely get that information there. And we can kind of go from there. So all right, man. So gearing up, gear in capital letters. I know it's kind of a tradition where we talk about some different things leading up to PETE&C. But yeah, so I was trying to think and what would be some good ideas of what to share with people, because we did a first time presenters webinar for PETE&C, and we had about 60 people signed up for that. So we got a lot of first time presenters. People, some of them have never attended PETE&C and are going to be presenting. Some people have attended, first time presenting, but PACT is going to be offering anybody who's going to PETE&C for the first time attendees, that we're going to have an evening Zoom session that's going to be hosted. And then the same person who's hosting the Zoom session will be doing a session live at PETE&C on Monday morning early. So, a lot of that's being covered. But I thought, on the pod, we've been to several. We've been to ISTE, we've been to PETE&C, TRETC, tons of ed camps. So pulling in the knowledge and thinking about it. So I'm gonna kick off here with number one, power bank. And I didn't pull necessarily resources from around my office or different things, and some things were at school. But a good power bank to be able to plug one or two items in. I have one that has wireless capability, and then it's got, 2 USB-A ports to kind of plug in. So, more for smaller devices, whether it's your phone that's dying because, again, ping in the network, the whole deal. And then even possibly having one that you can just quickly recharge by plugging it. So have a cable to plug it into the wall, when you're at different low moments. But having that, high capacity power bank is definitely a must have for PETE&C.
Yeah. And, along those lines, I know I carried a couple with me at ISTE, which was a little bit problematic because you take them on the airplane. I carried them on my person. But yeah, you're going to be walking around, phone, computers, everything is going to be, use. So I was looking at your list before, because we didn't get a chance to meet today. You had school. I had, the online fit stuff going on. But I know we've gone over this. The lists kind of stay the same, but along that line of your thinking, there's going to be a lot of overlap. Yeah. But I've never stayed in a hotel. I've always stayed at the lodge, or a couple times I had to stay at outside hotels because of late registration. But bring a power strip and extension cords, because the lodge is nice. It's great to stay in, but they have limited plugs. That's something that if you have a lot of devices, people have, wearables, watches of different sorts. They have their phones, they have the computers, they have other things, earbuds and whatnot. You have to charge them. So you need plugs, like a power strip, something plug into, so you have extra plugs in the room, because they are at a premium in the lodge.
And saying that makes me think of at the PACT booth, being a member has its benefits. We will have a mobile kind of charger. It's got 6 plugs in it. But yeah, definitely when you stop at the booth to chat a little bit, feel free to plug in, get some juice while you're there, just a little bit to tap up. So, but then, definitely, like Dom's saying, having a power strip, even if you have it in your bag and you find a spot, be able to plug a couple things in. And then also with that, if you're staying, whether you're staying over or whether you're traveling, making sure you power up all of those power banks overnight. Just giving them time, plug them in so that way they're ready to go in the morning. Definitely a good thing to be able to do.
Back in the day with the CFF computers, and when the batteries weren't that's great on the computers, that used to get me seats. You'd always see a seat like that was in a crowded session. Like, can I sit there? And like, oh, we're saving it for somebody. I'm like, I have a power strip, and they're come on in. And because the computers didn't last all day, plug it into the wall by a plug. Let 4 or 5 people plug into it. Charge your computers during the session. Work plugged in. But now with the computers and the batteries working much longer, not so much a need. But it's always good to carry one with you because you never know when you can like barter for an extra seat, open seat.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm jumping down my list for this one. I'm going to my number 7. Having a universal dongle, right? It's got their USB. This is just a USB-A, but this one also has a USB-C. And then to your 3, whether it's your Lightning, a mini USB, or USB-C. All right. Now, you want to say, oh, well, I don't have one of those. Well, this one will advertise, for the IUs. IU13 got this free at their booth last year. Thing's amazing. So I always keep it in my bag. And then another one that I can't remember where I got this one. I think this would have been an ISTE find. All right. But it's got USB-C only. So you can extend it. And then to your 3 to another USB-C. To a Lightning port, all right, then a mini USB. I know the newer iPhones and stuff, they're all going USB-C, and then just nice and collapsible, hangs in the bag. You just kind of have it there. So a multi headed dongle adapter is definitely a benefit to have. So not only if you're rocking the power strip like Dom, then you can plug that in, and then somebody with an iPhone comes up, boom, they can plug in. Oh, USB-C, newer iPhone or Android phone, plug it in. And then that'll even power my Surface with USB power, all right, or even some of our, Chromebooks. So definitely good to have one of those.
Yeah, I got
Swiss Army knife of EdTech.
Those are fantastic. I'm looking to see if I have it in here. Oh, I got one of these for Christmas.
Yeah.
It is the power strip with the USB hookups and the 3-prong hookups.
Oh. Nice. Okay.
Compact, has the extension cord on it so you can plug it in, and it has the tight wall mount plug. So you can put that baby in and put it on your nightstand, put it on the desk.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what Eric was saying. And you can plug in different things, charge different ways, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So I got one of those for Christmas, and I'm excited about using it. Travel enough, it's great to have. I'm going to go off the tech trail on this one, and I'm fairly certain this is still, because as of 2 years ago, they don't have microwaves in the room. They have something that looks like a microwave if you're not paying attention, but it is a room safe. So if you were to wanted to get pizza and reheat it in the morning, you can't do it in a regular room. The one year I know my daughter was young, we bought, my wife bought oatmeal to heat up for my daughter for breakfast. And go in, she's like, we'll put this in the microwave. And there's not a microwave. She's, well, in that cupboard. I'm like, that is a room safe. That is not a microwave. So it was like, so we had a bowl of cold oatmeal that was not eaten. And we just went from there. So there's not microwaves in the rooms in the lodge. I don't know about the hotel. Ashley Keith said hi. Jeff Bradbury's jumping in saying hi. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. How we doing, buddy? Long time no chat.
A lot of people visiting. So, be careful. Be cognizant of that. Not careful, but be cognizant of that because, people don't realize that most hotels have the microwaves. So if you have leftovers, you have something, you go out to a restaurant to eat, get something at the, PETE&C does supply. You buy lunch there on site, but you want to take something back and heat it up. Can't heat it up in the rooms. They do have coffee makers, but I forget if they're the pods or the little individual packets. I forget what those are.
Listen, we're talking PETE&C, buddy. All right, we don't need no stinking coffee in our rooms, because when you go down for the keynote, right, stretching outside, you've got two amazing things. One, your amazing coffee, right? You got your creamer, you got the whole deal. But two, sweetest place on earth, you got hot chocolate. So you want to do the old Dunkachino, the Al Pacino Dunkachino, little hot chocolate in your coffee, fresh whipped cream.
Yes.
All right, so that is all stationed, and even little danishes and stuff. So skip going to the little cocoa bean. I forget what the beanery, whatever it's called, right? Hop in there. You can get your little Danish, one or two, just enough to tide you over. You can get your hot chocolate. You can get your coffee, whatever the case may be. Take your travel mug, and one of my PAECT travel mugs is up there, right? Have that handy because it'll fit usually, if you're rocking a lovely Vivacity bag, right? You got your little side pouch, put a coffee on one side, and that way you can kind of have, when you're ready to go, break that out during the keynote, enjoy a nice coffee. If you're traveling, you're going to get a little bit of that cold and be able to come in and then, warm up with some coffee, a nice cup of Joe while you're getting ready for the keynote.
Yeah, see, I have to do a coffee in the room to get me going, because those are long days to go late, running around doing hitting the different sessions and stuff. So I always have one in the room to get me going. I usually drink decaf at home, but at Pete, I'll go for the caffeine. Then I do the hot mocha with whipped cream. That is, the homemade whipped cream there. I jump on that. I get the sugar rush and the caffeine in me.
Trying to get the focus to go here because it focused on my bag and messed me all up.
Yep.
We got a little out of focus here. That's all right.
That's okay.
Obviously, it's mad at me for not drinking coffee in the hotel. So, all right. All right. So we got those. What I love is this idea of the carabiner. So an odd item for you to have. But when you go into the expo hall, you're going to be able to get a bag from whatever company, they're all giving them out, but carrying the bag, carrying your backpack becomes a whole process, right? Put your carabiner on your backpack, hang the swag bag on that. And then that way you got your backpack, as you're getting stuff, you're throwing it in that bag, and you're not having to use another arm. You're not having to balance it. One's not falling off your shoulder, the whole deal. So I suggest you bring a carabiner, that's what they call it, a parachute clip, whatever you call it. But then you're able to hook it to the bottom of your backpack and then hang the other bag there, or two or three, depending on what you get. So, but that's definitely one that's a very odd scenario. But again, if you want to hit that expo hall and get some goodies, you're going to load up. So make sure you have that. Speaking
of which, the expo hall has a new entrance this year. Instead of for those of you who've been there for years, instead of going in at the end of the room, like where you're walking across when you first come in, registration desk is there. You make that right and just go straight through. You will walk into a booth and then into a wall, because they moved the entrance midway down the hallway.
That's it. So if you're going down, if you come in that door and you walk down the whole hot chocolate line all the way to the end, make a right, that hallway will lead you straight to the doors. But you can go the other way down, just go down. So it's halfway down that hallway there where some of those different booths are set up outside the expo hall. Yeah, good call. Look at that.
I left Sheila's comment up not because it was brilliant of moving the entrance to the vendor hall, but Eric's comment about putting the bag on the carabiner, or however you say it.
Oh, look at you. I thought you were going to take that one. Okay. I like that. Nope. I like that. Nope. All right. We're showing some pre-conference humbleness. I like it. All right.
Well, hey, you guys got a football coach before we did. So
we didn't even get into that. That'll be the next show.
I know
about that. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. Very, very important, right? As an educator, your shoes are very important. Comfortable shoes to wear, because you're going to be walking a lot. So doesn't matter, if you're in comfy, you're in jeans, sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever the case may be, get nice, comfortable sneakers you're going to be wearing, and just have those throughout the day. And if you're staying over, switch out to a night, bring a pair of slippers. So you get back to your room, shed those sneakers, shed those shoes, and put on some nice, I like the slides. Got some UFO slides, or if you have other things, Crocs for the win. Okay, there she is. Patty's got it. Okay, but have those comfy shoes. So she wears those all day long. I don't know. I always think Crocs for guys look like boats when you put them on your feet. So I stay clear. But yeah. So how about you, Don? What's your next one?
Well, I should steal one of your ideas because we were talking about that and I saw it in there, but I'm not going to go that way. Self-care. You don't need to go to every session. There's going to be a ton of sessions. A lot of them are being recorded.
Yep.
If you attend PETE&C, you can catch the virtual PETEs, and some are repeated. So from that standpoint, don't overdo it, especially if you're new. You're going to want to go to everything, and you're going to see multiple sessions at the same time that you want to attend, and it's going to stress people out. Don't. You got to take care of yourself. It's a long day. If you go for the pre-conferences, you have a long 4 days, even though that last day is a little over a half day, and then we have the ending keynote. It's a lot. From morning to sessions go, and I forget the exact time for when the sessions go till, but they go into the evening, late afternoon. It's a long day, and it's going to wear you down. And most people have a decent drive home come Wednesday, or even if you're only staying until Tuesday, some people come in for the day. You're driving a couple hours. Don't overdo it. You can't go to everything, but that's okay. And some people, because they're going for their district, they want to show that, yeah, this is worth me going. There's ways of getting information, share notes with people, talk to people. I've done that. Like, hey, meet up with friends. I want to go to this session. You want to go to this other session, or me, they're at the same time. Can we share notes? Work with people, and you can't go to everything. Work it out, get the notes. You can catch the recordings for some sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Just realize that. Don't get yourself stressed out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, always excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to. Yeah, so if you are signed up, you get to go to that last session on the keynote on Wednesday and enjoy a little bit of a lunch and everything. So it's always really good. Here's the next one. Gone are the days of carrying around business cards or grabbing people's business cards. I mean, I have stacks of business cards here on my desk that some I've checked off, I've reached out to, some I just forget to. So I like using a free app called Hi Hello. And then on it, you can set up the whole thing. So this is for my PAECT account. And then when you're going to share with somebody, it's literally a QR code. And then they have access. Then it'll download on their phone. You'll get a copy on your phone. And then you've automatically shared that information. Or if you don't want to set up an app like that, they give you your business card, take a picture of it. And it's going to go in it's going to go into your pocket. You're going to throw it away later. You're going to have so much paper at the end. But keeping track of the different things, if I'm taking a picture, I'm going to write a little note on there about why I, grabbed the card or, my interest there. But just having some kind of digital business card, a QR code, something like that you're able to use. Maybe it's NFC set up, whatever the case is. I know at ISTE this past summer, showing some of the vendors there, they're like, oh man, that would be so much easier to keep track of stuff. So just to throw that out there. So like I said, Hi Hello is one I use. There's plenty of them out there. That's just the one that I have. So definitely make a chance, or make it a point to pull out something to be able to organize that information.
Yeah,
we're seeing a lot of.
We have to give North Central Regional Director JG Ressig credit for that, because he showed me that at ISTE back in Philly. Because I was low on, back when I was regional director, I was low on physical business cards. He's like, "Oh, download this," and downloaded the app, and it's. The use to this day, it's easier than carrying the cards around. Along those lines, there's going to be a ton of sessions, a lot of good information, but the best information, the best resources you're going to bring home from there are your contacts, meeting new people, talking with educators, talking with vendors, talking with people there, finding people that have similar interests, teach similar things, use similar tools, or use ideas that you're interested in. Talk with them, meet them, expand your professional learning network. That's the best resource, is building those connections. So there's so many great ideas, but talk to the people, get to know them, because then it's more than just a one-off learning about something. You're building that connection. You have ideas. You have someone you can work with and talk to.
Yep. And then with that connection, we'll kind of piggyback that. Monday is going to be wearing your PAECT black. Tuesday, if you happen to be a KTI of any scenario, wear purple for KTI. So we call it Blackout Monday for PAECT, and then Purple Tuesday. Great opportunities there. And that way, when you kind of see the swag, see the gear, we'll have a conversation near the chocolate, near the coffee, near the entrance to the keynotes. PAECT booth's going to be there. Feel free to pop in. And new this year, we'll have a representative from ISTE there, and we're going to have some books there that you'll be able to pick up at a discount, and just be a QR code, be able to order it, have it shipped to your house. But definitely an opportunity there. All right.
Yeah. And
so
we'll have some stuff at the booth for you guys. Come in, check your membership, make sure you're updated. And we have some ideas to go over with you guys, some information at the meet and greet. If you can't make the meet and greet Monday night, stop by the booth. We'll go over, we have information for you guys, because there'll be some changes on the website. So stop by, check that out, and come say hi.
Yeah. So we had, so we put out to our board, I put out on Slack, hey, what are your ideas? So Patty's jumping in, so we're going to put hers on the screen in 1 second. But it says, if lunching alone and don't feel like standing in a long line, you can go to your room. You can order room service, right? Make sure you have that availability. But then she also pointed out, guess what? Monday, the regional directors are in the hall and they're having a lunch. You'll have to pick up, this is lunch available for purchase. You got to purchase your own lunch and then sit down with your regional directors, chat. They're going to have some different swag, some different things available, but a great opportunity to sit around a lot of people who are, talking about, and just different educators from across, and asking about PAECT, any different ways to get involved, a lot of those different things, but a great opportunity for you to sit and hang out. And if you are lucky, you'll avoid this guy, but if you're not, then you'll see Mr. JG showing up with giveaways. He's, choosing the right words there. All right. And then also the booth is going to have our different swag, but then PETE&C will have their special swag. We'll be at the PAECT booth and at the volunteer booth. So some good stuff there.
So you have that. I lost track of where I was going with that. That goes with the things, the one thing, the restaurants in there for lunch, they get slammed. They're too crowded. You can buy lunch there at PETE&C in the hall, but that's something always I hit the store before. You hit the store before is my motto. Go get some snacks. They have the pastries in the morning. They have the coffee and the hot chocolate downstairs. But during the day, a lot of people take power snacks. I know Eric put something about, high nutritious snacks and whatnot. I always throw some stuff in the room. So if you're running around between sessions, you might not have a chance to go sit and eat. You can grab something in your room, snack on the go till you get a chance to eat. So,
yeah. All right. So with that, talk about the snacks and the different things. I saw this note. I thought this was very clever. Having a couple of Ziploc bags, right? So, and when you enter every room at Hershey for PETE&C, there's always what outside or what inside, Dom. You are giving your kids a hard time because you are missing a Chromebook charger.
Chocolate.
The chocolate, right?
Chocolate.
So there's always chocolate inside, in the hallways right before a room, or when you go in the room, it's right inside with water and stuff. Have a Ziploc bag. You're going to be grabbing a lot of that. There might be some different, candy goodies at the different vendors that you might grab. Put them in the Ziploc bag so you don't forget about it in your favorite bag that's going to melt onto your favorite tech, your favorite paper pencil. Just be, a mess inside the bag. So I saw when I was researching some different ideas, I'm like, you know what? And I believe it was called the chocolate buffer Ziploc bags. Right? Making sure you pack a few Ziploc bags. So that's just a very interesting one, ties in with what Dom was saying.
Yeah.
So let's get to the realm of note taking.
Okay.
Right?
Before we get there are a couple comments from on social media. People joined the conversation late. That's what we're talking about. The big Pennsylvania Educational Technology Conference, PETE&C. is coming up in 2 weeks. And we're just giving some tips about that conference. It takes place in the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, PA. So for those of you joining late, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And these are different tips and techniques gearing up, whether it be educators or just anybody attending a conference. Some good ideas to have. So let's talk about note taking, a hybrid note taking system. So for me, even though I tend to be techie, I'm going to make sure that I am grabbing something over here. I need to make sure I ink up all of my fountain pens and then bring one of these to keep in my hotel room for if they run dry. So that's step number one. Mr. Staggerwalt, right? Speaking out to you. All right. And then when I'm in the mood to take the note with the pen, right, having a good, pardon me, a good notebook, and they've been bought out, all right, but we definitely love using our smart Rocketbook. So I have the pad here that I use with my fountain pen to take some notes if I need, but then kind of like a hybrid system, right? Whether it's a Surface device, one of the smaller Surface devices, whether it's an iPad, whether you're using a digital pen, your Apple Pencil, but then also having like a Chromebook or a lighter MacBook Air, something that's going to have better battery life. It's not going to draw like my device, my Surface Laptop Studio that I run this off of. I'm going to have that in my hotel room. That's going to stay there for when I need to bang out some stuff in the evening or in the mornings. But carrying around, I'm definitely looking for something that's lighter, right? A little bit more compact that I'm able to carry around, take some notes on. I don't want it weighing me down. So, but again, digital, and also having that paper and pencil to be able to do different things and scratch some stuff on, because we talked about charge cables and all that stuff early. Paper and pencil, you're not going to run out of a charge to be able to use that.
Yeah. If you don't have refillable pens, bring extras, because like I am notoriously bad at refilling my fountain pens. So I use the disposable fountain pens, and I always carry several of those. But I use, so I turn in a report for my district whenever I go back, even though I go for PAECT and work in the conference and I present at the conference, I still give a report back to the district for them letting me go and share ideas. I'll use Google Docs. And what I do is I create the doc and I keep it in my recent. I label it so it's an easy label. And then that way, if I'm using my phone, if I'm, on an iPad, or if I have my computer, open up Google Drive, it's right there at the top when I hit recents, and I can work on any device reaches that doc. I create it beforehand. And during the keynote, they'll post things. They'll have QR codes up for their presentations, or they'll have really cool quotes. And I'll snap a picture instead of me typing what's being said or typing that, here's this really cool quote I saw. I just drop the picture in, like, read this quote and put that picture in. So, I know Eric's big into Microsoft, so you have OneNote and some other Microsoft tools. Create something that can be used over several devices. So no matter what device you grab, whatever you have, if battery runs down, you can access that same document, so you don't have multiple formats. And when you go home, you're overwhelmed trying to push everything together into one format. Paper and stuff with the, Rocketbooks were bought out. They're phasing out, but you could still, if you're writing on the Rocketbook, scan it. I'm fairly certain you could do it with OneNote. I know you could do it with Google Docs or your note-taking app, put it into a PDF, and then add it to your notes. However, put it in your Google Drive or whatever drive you're using, and merge the PDFs together so you can turn in the report and you have all that information easily.
Yeah, a big push right now with Google Keep kind of making a resurgence and doing some good stuff there. So that's a really quick one. Crowdsource. Yeah.
Missy's backing me up. Gotta like it.
Yeah.
So
right. You mustn't have gotten her mad recently. No.
I've been nice.
Good.
Let's see. Where do I want to go with? Let's see where we go. Business cards. We've covered that. We've covered the extension cords. We've covered not going to every session. No microwaves.
I got one. If you need.
Stop by. PACT is going to have a goose chase.
Very good.
So check that out. We will have details coming out. She backs me, but not my music. She
Uh,
likes some of the music I like, not all of it.
everybody's got to have limits.
Yes. But PACT, we are going to run a goose chase during PETE&C. We're going to have two different contests, I believe Monday and Tuesday, or is it Tuesday and Wednesday? I think it's Monday and Tuesday.
I believe Monday, Tuesday. Yep.
And separate contests. So we'll have winners. Check that out. They'll have information on the website. We'll get information out through the socials. So like there's a lot of things going on. We have our meet and greet Monday night. We have the booth going on. And stop by the booth, check things out. We have the giveaways for PETE&C always gives a present. We have PACT gear. The regional directors meet with them on Monday at lunch. Stop by the booth anytime, say hi. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday.
All right.
There it is. Crenders doubling up.
All
Backing
right.
us up Monday and Tuesday is the goose chase.
And get your goose on. All right. All right. And as I adjust these here, but this is another tip, having your noise canceling earbuds. I like this as an idea of almost a sensory break. There's going to be a lot of noise. So popping them in, just having the noise canceling as you're walking from point A to point B. There's every so often where you just need to do that. I'm very extroverted, but every so often you got to recharge that battery. I got to get from point A to point B quickly, pop them in, cut that noise down and go. And just not being afraid to kick back. Oh, you could tell she wasn't here early when we talked about black on Monday, purple on Tuesday, but always good to repeat. Had a joke with Krenzer on that one. So, but noise canceling earbuds is something that you definitely, not just to listen to different things, but just to block out when you need that time.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. We have the pre-con, KTI pre-con. It's free on Sunday. There's an Ed Camp Sunday. So, check PETE&C website for stuff going on. And they have the schedules up, the programs up. We will be live broadcasting on Monday downstairs by the poster sessions. There'll be JG referencing people that have to stay in the room with him. Yep. And we'll be down there broadcasting. Come check us out. We are broadcasting live from PETE&C. They're going to have several podcasts going on down there.
From the podcast suite.
Yes. The AR VR playground experience on Tuesday. We have poster sessions. We have all kinds of stuff going on.
Remake Learning Playground will be there after the AR VR. So that's definitely a big one to hit. So a lot of really good stuff there.
Student showcase. The Innovation Zone.
Wild Rose A and B is where the experiences are going to be on Tuesday. All right, this one's an interesting one. The conference survival pouch. We kind of talk about the different things, but you want to make sure you've got a water bottle, right? Refillable that you can carry around. There's plenty of spots to get that. Some people, I'm not a fan of them, but liquid IV packets to be able to dump in. I'm not a fan of those. But I'll do different flavorings for the water or whatever, but that's always good. Like, just if you're feeling dehydrated, hand sanitizer, throat lozenges, because it's always when you're around that lot of people. Sometimes it's a head game, but sometimes there are different things happening. But yeah, and then just and don't forget your Tylenol, ibuprofen, whatever the case is. Just to have it, because again, when you go into the lodge there to buy it, it's just like a hotel. They jump the price up a little bit for a quarter of the size of the bottle. So just make sure you kind of have those things kind of, around you ready to be able to use. So some good things there. And then we're in February. It's in Hershey. Making sure, because some of the rooms, there could be some rooms are really warm. And then all of a sudden it gets cold. So whether it's a sweatshirt or a zip up, whatever, having something to be able to do is always important. So make sure you have that, especially if you're going to be heading to the hotel from the lodge and you're going to go outside into the bus. The buses do the best they can, but when you get dropped off at the hotel, there's a little bit of a walk. You just want to make sure that you got something.
Be prepared for the weather. If you're staying in a lodge, there's not really a reason to leave the lodge, but traveling home, numerous times traveling from Hershey, go through the tunnels, hit that last tunnel before Somerset. If everything's fine, get on the Pittsburgh side of the mountain, and I drive into a blizzard. I know the one night you ended up staying over because we had an ice storm on, it was like a Monday night.
Sunday night. I did a 360 parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So the weather's always a wild card. So be prepared for that. I always throw extra set of clothes, boots and stuff. I bring tennis shoes, but I always have boots in case it snows and I get stuck somewhere. I have boots and a heavier coat for getting to where I need to get if I ever get stuck somewhere.
Yeah. All right. A couple interesting ones. I wouldn't have thought of this, but one of our board members said, bring a humidifier if you're staying over, because sometimes it could be, just that hotel, that lodge air. You might want a humidifier in your room. I thought that was kind of interesting. So going back to if you're going to lunch on your own and doing the room service, here's an interesting little tip. The Bear's Den. It's something you got to kind of set up because a lot of people will go there. But if you're into seafood, they get their seafood from Devon's Steakhouse and Seafood in Hershey. Their seafood's actually really good in the Bear's Den. So if you're into that, it's a good fish and chip setup. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Everyone is in the same boat. We're all there to learn and share. This is unique because again, you kind of go through and I'll Dom referenced me being a Microsoft guy, and if you've been fan of the show or you just know me personally, I am. So I would always go and just say, okay, what all different things are there that I can use in my classroom? What all different things, right? But think outside the box. Go to at least one session that's just totally out there. You never know. You might be surprised. You're going to gain some things from it, some things you can use in your room. But just take that opportunity to kind of scroll through. And with that being said, a great place to build your schedule is the PETE&C 2026 app. And that'll be populating here soon, but look for it in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Download that, log in with your information, and you could build out your, where you want to go. And with that in mind, don't just do one session. Pick two or three per time slot. So you go to one, it's not there. Real quick, you pop it open, you can look real quick, and then head to where you want to go, because that's a big thing.
And along with that, Scott Snyder added, there's different ways to get around the lodge. Take a look, get there, walk around, see which way to go. Certain places are going to get bottlenecked up, going to get packed. So learn the shortcuts. Learn how, there's some places you can duck outside from one door and cut across instead of going down a hallway, up steps, across a hallway, and down steps. There's doors, there's little shortcuts. As I talking with my hands, smack the microphone. I almost knocked everything off here.
Man.
So there's different ways to get around, learn them. And I'm still learning. I know when I used to stay on the Reese's Wing by the water park, and getting from there to where the PAECT suite is, it would take me 20 minutes of walking. And then I learned it was like a 30-second path if I just went out a different door. So, there's different ways of going and learn them, because it's complicated at first, but once you learn the lay of the land, it's very easy to get around. It just takes a little bit of time.
All right. Missy just broke out the app, and she picked 3 per slot. Already did that today. And all right, confirmation on the humidifier tip. There you go. Just found one. Okay. All right, good stuff. So I was trying to think. So here's the interesting thing. I said, okay, I'd listened to different things that we chose. I went to Google Gemini and I said, what would you change knowing that it's in February in Hershey, Pennsylvania? So a couple of things they threw in there. One was adding lip balm or chapstick, because with the cold air, the fact that you're going to have the chocolate smell, different things with your skin, all that. Said about maybe make sure you have some of that. Portable umbrella or a rain poncho, just in case you have to leave and there is, things happening. Then if you sneak away to hit Chocolate World, all right, you might need that. So just something travel size. Thought that was interesting.
Oh, while you're reading that.
Oh, good.
A well-kept secret. Even though we are before Valentine's Day, Chocolate World usually has candy on sale. And sometimes they'll have the leftover Christmas. The one year I got the Grinch Hershey Kisses for like $1 something a bag. I loaded up on those, but they have, they always run specials at Chocolate World. And my students, as Eric mentioned, last year, someone took one of my Chromebook charging cords, and I was eating candy every day that was meant for my students until I got my cord back, and it worked. I got my cord back, not till I pushed myself on the verge of a sugar overdose. But I was making TikToks. This is a chocolate. That was worth it. But yeah, hit Chocolate World up. They have the ride for free there. I've done that I don't know how many innumerable times. But they always run specials. Grab something, take it back to the family. If you have the family, that's a great getaway for them. When you go to if you're staying in lodge, you get tickets for some of the different Hershey events. They're free if you're staying at the lodge. They also have the water park. You get a water pass if you're going with the family. And even if you're not going with the family, you get a pass to the water park. It has expanded from a little pool to a nice size water park. That's self-care. Go sit in the water park. It's warmer there. Sit there, listen to the water, and just chill for a bit to collect your thoughts. There's going to be so much information at this event that you're going to need to process it. And as Karen Steigerwalt and Missy Halcott say in their Girls Gone Google presentations, send an email to yourself, set it up in Gmail or your email app for about, a month or so away. Have time to decompress and go back and revisit your notes. And that's a place just to go sit in the evening and collect your thoughts before you go on. We have the PAECT event on Monday. There's afterwards there's an event. There's cornhole and a band. Tuesday night is the PETE&C dinner, and they have an event going on after that. So there's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be, as Eric said, it can be sensory overload. Go hang out at the pool, relax. There's a workout room there. There's an arcade. If you're in the video games, you go play games in the arcade. There's a lot to do to kick back and relax. Or I know some people staying at the hotel. They have a spa and stuff over there. So there's a lot to do and a lot to kind of decompress and take care of yourself.
Definitely. All right, man. Well, I think we're going to shift gears, talk about PhD. But before we do, let's hear from one of our sponsors. Here we go.
With Toddle, you can design your entire curriculum end-to-end, from courses and units to lesson plans and assignments, all in one place. At every step of the curriculum design process, you are supported by our AI-powered Curriculum Design Assistant, the most advanced tool of its kind in the world. It helps you generate thoughtful course outlines, suggests learning experiences, creates differentiated tasks, and more. And all of this in just minutes. Once your plans are in place, Toddle's curriculum maps and analytics offer a clear, comprehensive view of your program, making it easy for teaching teams to stay aligned and for school leaders to make informed decisions.
Excellent. And we're looking forward to hearing Toddle in February, but truly appreciate them as partners and sponsors of PAECT.
Yeah. And that's one other thing. If you are the sponsors, will have our PAECT sponsors will have signage in the vendor hall and around the vendor booths. Stop by, say hi, thank them. They make all this possible. And along those lines, also, I said the student showcase is actually the PA Invention Convention. So check that out. That is the student work. Great projects from around the state students have put in and created. So check that out.
All right, let's see what's happening this month in PAECT. All right, here we go. All right, so they kicked off the Wild Things book study. That's been going here a little bit. Last week, we had the KTI chat. Here, that was a really good one. The Teacher's Lounge has kicked off. All right, now, so we've got next week the pre-PETE prep was happening at 6 p.m. today. All right, and then on the 22nd, Thursday, we've got Reconnect and Charge. Go.
That was canceled because not enough people signed up. So a little public service announcement. If you're interested in these things, please do not wait to the last minute. I know I'm guilty of that myself, but if we don't have enough people sign up for some of these events, they do get canceled. this was a worthwhile one. I didn't get a chance to go to it last year because I had a conflict in my schedule. But when I heard about it, I was fired up to go to this one, but they didn't have enough people signed up. There were actually more people presenting than we had signed up for it. So it was canceled. So if you see something on the calendar, please don't hesitate to sign up for it, because, and even if it's a maybe, sign up, because if we don't get enough participation, they get canceled. And then, you decide, I can make it. It might be too late.
I hear the event happening on Thursday has been canceled as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, okay. So we're going to next week. Again, the book study's happening. And then here we go. The week of Pete, we got the PETE&C KTI Pre-Con. So you can sign up here and then come visit on Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. Check out and as we had Krenzer on last week to talk about it, the PETE&C Ninja Warrior, KTI Ninja Warrior. So make sure you got an opportunity to check that out. So, all right. Let me switch over here.
So while you're talking about that, I am going to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
And a little further into the future, but that's okay. Let me grab this. And I don't know. Allow. There we go. Google jumped in and threw me a curve. Slippery Rock is one of our student PACT chapters. And coming up in April, they have a Back to the 80s Ed Camp at Slippery Rock University. That is my wheelhouse. So if I go here, let me pull this up so you can see it better. So, Ed Camps, they are geared by the people attending them. It is at McKay Education Building, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. You do get Act 48 credit for it. So, check it out. The link to register is here. It's on the PACT calendar for April. And we had to cancel an event back in November, but the Higher Ed Symposium is back on. The new date is November 14th, 2026, which seems like a long way away. But if you remember, it just seemed like a blink ago that we were just starting the school year. So save this date. It's coming up in November. Registration isn't open yet, but they will be putting out a call for proposals. We had a bunch of people signed up to present, a lot of great presentations. We're hoping they resubmit for presenting, but it just didn't work out, the timing of things at last year. But this will be at the Fred Rogers Center. It's St. Vincent College, Saturday, November 14th, 2026. So keep checking PACT.org for details. Check your emails. We have more details and we open up for presentations and such. That'll be going out through the socials and through the emails and the newsletter. So keep your eyes open for that stuff.
All right. Well, our last evening session together before PETE&C, before the changeover and all that happened. So hopefully everyone has a great rest of their January and tiptoeing in. Hopefully you fall on the side of whether you like snow, do not like snow, and what the Saturday, Sunday, Monday roll into. I think it's going to be, it hits Sunday, it tapers into early Monday. I think there's going to be some cancellations on Monday and possible delay Tuesday. So we'll see how that rolls out. But make sure you're checking the socials, the YouTubes, and watching your local forecasts. So, all right, man. So I think that's all we've got to share. We got a lot of great stuff happening in the PETE&C. Some great keynotes. Holly Clark will be kicking it off. So definitely excited to hear her. And maybe you guys will catch her on an upcoming pod. Who knows? We'll see if we can do it. So,
all right, guys.
All right, man. Well, as I could tell before Dom in pre-show, he was already switched over to his hockey. So he's kicked over from football to ice hockey, and
Pens are in the playoffs. They're in a playoff position.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm
going to look.
I couldn't. I couldn't. It's too soon. For as much grief, I know we've all been back channeling through the playoffs and texting each other. We kind of left you out because you had that big event going on with your daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
We didn't want to bother you because you had more important things than the shenanigans and comments during, the playoffs. But
sure,
it's been a rough one.
Yeah, it has.
For the fans, the football fans in PAECT.
Yep. Yeah, it has. A lot of us on the outside looking in. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
We'll revisit the football. The wounds will still be fresh, but next episode we'll bring back the football comments.
That we will. Do a little bit
too soon.
Very much so. Very much so. All right, brother. All right, man. Well, listen, for everybody at PhD, we truly appreciate you being here for what you're doing for kids in your classroom. Thank you so much. It's truly amazing stuff. So, as always, PACT.
We are
the voice of EdTech in
Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right, let's thank our sponsors. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
Take care, everybody. Hopefully we see you at PETE&C. Stop by the booth if you're there. PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. SAM Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.